Alright, welcome back to maybe my second video on Java. We're going to be doing linked lists today. So this is IntelliJ. If you don't know IntelliJ, if this is your first time programming in Java, here, let me pull it up. So, if you don't know what IntelliJ is, it's basically IDE, which is an integrated development environment, and it's a really great code editor with a lot of neat features for autocomplete code and plugins and all that kind of good stuff. So that's what I'll be using to do the code today, and if you guys want to follow along with it, this is a website at jetbrains.com, or you can just type in IntelliJ in Google and it'll pop up and you just download it. It's free. There's a free version and there's a paid version, but for this segment we're having, you only need the free version. So alright, let's get back into it. So I just put new project and I'm gonna name it Electroman, just cause I like that name. We're gonna use Java 17, so just make sure you have that installed, and that's pretty much it. So new project, name it whatever you want to name it. But if you want to really keep it in line with what we're doing, you just name it Electroman, and basically that's it. You press create. It's going to say this window or new window, so we'll put this window. And I'm going to actually put it full screen. And here we go. You're going to go to source. You're going to go to left click or right click and put new Java class, and here you're gonna name it just I guess you can just name it we're gonna name it Roboto. Okay, I do want the following. This is just asking if you want to add it to Git, which is like code repository on your computer where you can save all the additional code edits that you do on it, and you can also revert back to whatever state it was before, and you can read more upon it online if you want to know more about it. But it's a neat tool to have, and I mean, you're going to use it all the time, so might as well get some knowledge up into that topic. Maybe I'll describe it in a later video, but for right now we're going to just do add, and you might not get that, you might, so just click add. If you don't get that, it's fine. Alright, so here we go. We have our public class Roboto, and this is Java. So as you know, with Java we have to put our main class. So in IntelliJ it's pretty easy to do that. There's a shortcut, and you just put public static void main psvm, and you click it and it'll autocomplete for you. So there's some seconds saved on your schedule. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna do we need a scanner because we're gonna scan. Oh, I didn't tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna implement a linked list in a Rolodex kind of form. It's not gonna be a graphical user interface. It's just gonna be a command line program where we can add names to a contact list, and it's gonna add it in the order that we add the names. So we'll add one name, then the next name that we add is going to go on top of that, and so on and so forth. So the most recent added name is going to be on top, and the program will print out all the names at the end. It's going to ask for a name. It's going to ask for 5 names, and then once it populates the what we say here as the Rolodex, it's going to print out all the names in the order that I just said. So it's a pretty simple app, but it's just kind of to get you acquainted with linked lists. So we need a scanner. You want to name it input scanner. Just put that in. And I might just like say what I'm typing, so in case you guys are just following along with my voice, you guys can type it in as I go along. So here we get a little dialog saying that we haven't imported the class, so you just press Alt Enter and it's imported. So alright, all good to go. Then we're gonna do we need the linked list class. So we're gonna go linked list, and this is a generic, so generics go inside these brackets. So in here we're gonna have a type. So this is gonna be a string type. So we put type string, and then again we need the import the class, and we're gonna name this linked list. We're just gonna name it Rolodex. And I guess for people that don't know what a Rolodex is, that's a Rolodex. I mean, let's see. I'm what, 27 years old, and I know what this is. So maybe I'm old. I mean, I've never witnessed one in real life. I've just heard about them, like in movies, but I still know what it is. But this is Rolodex. This is the one I'm picturing here. But anyway, it's just like business cards and contact info, and you just spin it to the one that you need, like it says here, like all the letters. And so that's what we're basically simulating in this tutorial. I actually might get a Rolodex. Alright, so we're going to name it Rolodex, and we're going to do new linked list, and we need let's just say it's a string type, and we need these parentheses. Alright, so now that we have the linked list up and ready to go, let's do a prompt for the user to enter a name. So we're going to do system.out.println, and we're going to do enter name. Then we need the scanner, so we're going to put input dot next line, and we need it to be there needs to be a variable here, so it's going to be a string type variable name, and we're just going to leave it like that. We're just going to instantiate it like that. So now we can put name equals input dot next line. So what this basically does is it takes the input from the keyboard with input.next line and puts it in the variable name. I'm not sure if we're all here experienced with Java, but I'm going to explain some little details just in case. And next up is add it to the Rolodex. So how we're going to add it is we need to do Rolodex dot add first. It's going to add it to the front of the list, and we're going to add it name. So we're going to add the name that we just got from the input. And so that's basically the gist of the function. So now we're going to repeat it a couple times, which you can just copy paste. You're going to copy paste from system.out.print all the way to rolodex.add first, and we're just going to repeat that maybe 5 times, just for 5 names. So what I do on my keyboard is I have this plugin called Vim something here, Vim Emulator, and you can get it in the plugin store for IntelliJ. It's free, and what it does, it basically it makes your typing faster by using the keys as shortcuts. So for example, I can go to the front of the line by typing, actually I can go to the next line by just typing capital O. So Shift O will give me a new line, instead of like having to press, like going all the way to, you know, being here and then going all the way to the end and then pressing enter. I can just be anywhere here and just press actually it's not Shift O, it's just O. So O, and I'm there. So it's a pretty neat plugin. There's a bunch of neat shortcuts that you can use, so I'd recommend it. It takes a bit to learn, but it's worth it, I think. Makes it a better coding experience, in my opinion. Alright, so we're gonna copy and paste. So you guys might do it a different way with your mouse, but I'm gonna do it with my keyboard, and it's for me it's Shift V, and it selects each line, and then I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it here. So I'm gonna paste it 5 times. That's 4, that's 5. Alright, so now we have 5 prompts, which you're going to enter a name, and the name is going to be saved into the variable name, and that's going to be added to the Rolodex as the first entry. So it's going to keep pushing all the other entries down. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to print the Rolodex. So we're going to do while Rolodex. We need first we need a list iterator. So we're going to do list iterator string type, and we're going to do we're going to name it Rolodex iterator, and it needs to be we're going to create the iterator from the Rolodex linked list. So we need to do Rolodex dot list iterator, and we got that. Good. So now that it's done, we can do while Rolodex iterator dot has next. You're gonna print it out, system.out.printline. You're gonna do let's see, you're gonna print out what it has in the iterator. Let me see if I can remember. Yes, it's Rolodex. So it's going to put system.out.println Rolodex dot next Rolodex iterator dot next, and that'll print out each name. So you need the iterator so that you can go through the list. And what has next, what it does is just like if it has another item in the linked list in the iterator, it's gonna do this. It's gonna print line. It's gonna print the Rolodex iterator dot next. So next just means it's gonna print out the next one in line. So now the while loop is gonna print out all the names that we just put in there, and that's basically the gist of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run it. So I'm just gonna put here return 0, just for good old time's sakes. And actually, let's see. No, that's giving me an error. Let's see. Cannot return a value from a method with void. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a void method, so you don't need any return method. All right, so we're gonna run it now, and we're gonna see how this works. So you're gonna go to add configuration right here, and you're gonna click the plus sign. You're gonna click application, and you can name it. Let's see, we can just name it test 1. And here on main class, under the build and run, you're gonna just click on this little tab here, and you're gonna click Roboto, because that's where our main class is gonna be at. And everything else stays the same. So you click apply or OK, whichever one is fine. And basically now all we need to do is run it. So let's run that thing. Click the play button. And it's going to open this up right here, this terminal. And it's going to ask enter name. So that's our code that we just typed in. So we're going to enter a name. We're going to put Mark. Press enter. Enter another name. You're going to press, let's say, Lindsay. Enter another name. Let's say Bartholomew. And enter another name. Let's see, can we get let's see, what other name do I want to put in there? Abigail? Alright, and then one last one. Tortilla. Alright, so now it's going to print out all the names in the order we inputted them. So we got, since Tortilla was the last one that we put in the Rolodex, it's going to be the first one, then Abigail, then Bartholomew, then Lindsay, and then finally the first one that we put in was Mark. So it does what it needed to do, and you have here kind of like a rudimentary Rolodex that you can play around with this code, and you can make it a little bit more complex and maybe add a phone number next to the name. You know, it's up to you what you want to do with it, but this is kind of like the gist of it and the basic concepts that you need. I leave to you like the more interesting problem of making it maybe a graphical user interface with a whole like contact form where you add a contact and then it populates a list, and then you can click on each name and see the contact information. So if you guys want to do that on your own time, you feel free to do that. You have the basic steps that you need, and the rest is like your own research that you do. And I think you guys will be able to do it. And if you guys are interested, I can show you guys how to do that in a later tutorial. And give it a shot, even if you don't know what the next steps are. Just start doing some research, and if you guys get somewhere or get stuck, I can chime in a few weeks from now and just build it and see how far along you guys got. But that's going to be it for this tutorial. So we went over linked lists, how to make a linked list, and how to iterate through the linked list so that you print out what's in your linked list. And linked list basically is it's a list of items that you can modify by either adding it to the first of the list or the last on the list. And I think you can also you have random access to all the items. So if you need those 3 things in your app, then this would be the data structure that I would use. So yeah, anyway, if you guys like this video, this tutorial, leave a comment, leave a like, and if you guys want, you guys can subscribe for more tutorials. Alright, so see you guys next time.